All right, guys, I also wanted to do a quick video about using the number line to add and subtract integers and just a quick model of that. So the reading, the number line approach to integers, does a nice job of talking about the different ways we can kind of interpret that negative sign. So they talk about the fact that the negative sign can be an operation, meaning subtraction. The negative sign can indicate a negative number, so -4 as opposed to 4. And then it can also have this idea of an opposite, so the opposite of something. So -4 or -4 can be interpreted as subtract +4 from some number or go away from some number. Or we could also say the opposite of a +4. So -4 could be the opposite of +4. So +4 compared to -4. And then we also have this idea of an opposite direction. Okay, so let's take a look at that meaning here. So I'm going to draw a number line. Okay, so here's my number line. I've given it some labels. And we're going to use this number line to model several different scenarios. Okay, so to start with, let's look at -4 plus 5. Okay, so we're starting at -4. We're starting at the opposite of +4. So I'm going to find -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's -4. Okay, and then I'm adding, meaning I'm moving to the right, and I'm adding 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where did I end? I ended at +1. So -4 plus 5 must be +1. Okay, pretty straightforward. One thing that I like to do, especially with younger kids, and you may or may not be adding and subtracting integers with younger kids, but we often build a large number line on the floor, so using masking tape, and then students can actually hop along the number line as they're adding and subtracting, which is fairly fun for them as well. All right, let's look at another example. Let's look at -7 plus let's do -2. So -7 plus -2. Okay, so now we're going to start to think about what these things mean. So I'm at -7, so I'm going to start at -7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's -7. It's my starting spot. Okay, and then adding would normally tell me that I'm going to move to the right. But notice that I'm adding the opposite of 2. So instead of turning to the right, one thing that I'll often do with students is we'll say, okay, normally adding, we'd start walking to the right, but that negative sign tells us that we're doing the opposite. It tells us we're switching directions. So now I'm going to be walking the other direction. So starting at -7, I'm going to walk 1, 2 to the left, which gets me to -9. So -7 plus -2 is -9. All right, a couple more examples. So let's see, let's do this one. So -2 minus -3. Lots of minuses happening here, lots of subtraction. So we're going to start at -2. 1, 2, so here's -2. Okay. Now normally, minus means that I'm going to move to the left. If I'm thinking of my number line example, I'd be walking towards the left. But I'm doing the opposite with that -3. So I'm actually going to turn around and go the other direction and go 1, 2, 3. Okay, that puts me at 1. So -2 minus a -3 equals +1. Now, a little bit, to me, this is a little bit kind of like kitschy in terms of like, oh, we're just switching directions every time we see a negative sign. And so I really like to pair the number line model with the chef story so that they're getting a better understanding of, if I start off with -2 and I take away more negatives, overall, if I'm taking away negatives, think about taking away cold cubes in the chef story, overall, I should become more positive, or I should become warmer. And that's kind of, the chef story does a nice job of giving meaning to that. All right, let's do one more example. Oops, I want to erase my number line. So for our last example, let's do -3 minus 7. So I'm going to start at -3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So starting here at -3, and I'm taking away or moving to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which ends me at negative 10. All right, let me know if you have questions. Watch this video in conjunction with that chef story to help kind of get an understanding of how the two methods can go together and give more meaning to kind of this idea of moving left and moving right along the number line.